Steam Next Fest happened from June 13th to the 20th. You know what that means? I played some demos! I'm gonna talk about not 5, not 10, but 11 demos that I played during that time. We're gonna talk about FPS games, Metroidvanias, and miscellaneous. But we'll be changing up the order because I feel like it. Ready? Let's do this. LORN'S Lore is a first-person platformer. The game is being made by Ruby. We are starting strong with this one, as I had no idea what to say besides, you climb, and climb, and climb. I had no idea what else to put in my notes for this game at the time. The game does have an oppressive atmosphere, and the demo alone has made me feel like I've been at this forever, even though I've only played for an hour. I didn't find anything immediately wrong with the game. However, I just don't think this game is for me. It's just too slow paced for my taste. But hey, you might like it. And also I would like to say, at least on his Twitter, I do like what I see as far as the swinging aspect. Well, when you get to that point, I guess. The game will come out sometime in 2022. If you are interested in the game, please follow the dev on Twitter. Gloomwood is an FPS being created by Dylan Rogers and David Szymanski. The moment I looked at the tower looming in the distance with the moon behind it, I knew I was gonna like Gloomwood. The game's aesthetic is amazing. And I fell in love with it as soon as I started playing, because this scene is basically the beginning of the game. The gameplay of Gloomwood can be slow and methodical, or chaotic if you want. Because I'm not stealth-minded, well... I had a bit of fun, and I even got spooked once. Friggin' flightless birds, dude. The most I can say about Gloomwood is that the guns feel a bit strong. I wouldn't say nerf the damage, but maybe give us less bullets or make them harder to find. Because the way I played, I had a lot of bullets, so I just decided to go ham and destroy everybody. The dev might be doing that already, I wouldn't know. But if you're not, consider doing that. Otherwise, you really have a great game on your hands, dude. You really do. Gloomwood will come out at some point. However, if you are interested in the game, please follow Dylan Rogers on Twitter. Cultic is a crunchy retro FPS being created by Jason Smith. I haven't seen the trailer for this game, I just kinda went in raw. That said, I did not know I can light the TNT on fire and throw it. I should have put 2 and 2 together, but somehow I looked at the question and left it blank. Not a single time did I attempt to do that in my playthrough of the demo. But I did throw the TNT and shoot it. Guess I get cool points for that, right? Regardless of how I don't do what is shown in the trailer, the gameplay of this game is solid. Nothing too crazy from other retro FPSs that I've played. What sets it apart, I do believe, is the setting, and the graphics that are used, which I really enjoy. I especially like the intro. It's quick, it's snappy, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. Good job! Cultic is gonna be released, soon. TM. Follow the dev on Twitter if you're interested in the game. HELLSCREEN, the Giger Doom with a rear view mirror, is being created by UK Resistant, aka Jaime D. HELLSCREEN has an unusual and fascinating concept of having a rear view mirror, allowing you to see right behind you. The mechanic does go deeper than that, however. Some of the monsters cannot be seen unless you use the rear view mirror, and damage, so you can't just blindly shoot. To me, this was very tough to get used to, because on the fly, I'm supposed to get used to going from regular controls to mirrored, and then just going back and forth in general to destroy these, little Gigers. It messed with me so bad, I actually had to stop moving and just shoot at a couple of points. The gameplay might mesh with you more than it had with me, so I can't quite harp on it too much. Simply giving you the ability to look behind you like this might be a simple concept, but it's a very interesting one. The graphics are also an odd choice as well, but I like it, despite going blind for a second at the end of the demo. HELLSCREEN will be out whenever it wants to. If you have interest in the game, please follow the dude on Twitter. Detained, Too Good for School, is a beat-em-up with RPG elements and even has crafting. Created by OTK Games. I knew coming into the demo that I was going to play something I knew I liked, because I do enjoy the beat-em-up genre and I love doing combos. The graphics and presentation are stellar, and even the story captured my interest. The gameplay, oddly enough, felt stiff. Doing ground-to-air combos feel sluggish. Too sluggish for my taste. If being able to do combos quicker, or be able to even link some moves with other moves, required skills, I think that would be pretty lame. Something like that should be able to be done right out of the box, so to speak. Also, doing the one-button combos is fine, but when you try to mix in the heavy moves, that's when it feels slow. It could just be me feeling this way, but their earlier game, The Vagrant, had better combat than this. Though I do know that this game is early in development, so anything is due to change. Don't worry, I haven't given up all hope on it, trust me. Just like many others on the list, Detained, Too Good for School, will come out soon. If you are interested in the game, you may follow the devs on Twitter. BRIGHTSEEKER is an isometric hack and slash with RPG elements, created by, maybe his username, might be easier to say? Well, okay, you know what, you see the names on the screen, that's who made it. I'ma keep going. Right off the bat, BRIGHTSEEKER surprised me with its difficulty settings. Instead of the basic, easy, normal, and hard, you can set up what the AI can do and can't do. Otherwise, the gameplay itself seems a bit slow due to the walk speed, but that changes when you notice you can teleport all the time. And when I noticed that, I only felt that it was right to give the enemies the ability to teleport as well. Don't really want to cripple my enemy like that. The core gameplay is fine enough, although I do think the melee attack is a bit slow, but that's okay, because there are different weapons in the game, so there could be a faster one to use. The visuals along with the sound design for the game is also really good. BRIGHTSEEKER will come out sometime in 2022. If you're interested, please follow the dev on Twitter. Outclass Hunter is a platformer created by Astrophobia, which is basically Doom. Outclass Hunter was the demo I had the most issue with, but I'm pretty sure this version is an early one, and that's okay. This was a game I had trouble playing because of the controls. They were slippery and it was hard to stop moving when I get started. I understand you use the same engine as Sonic Roboblast 2, which is Doom. Though I do believe fixing the way the character traverses the levels would vastly improve the game. I do notice you are kind of doing this on Twitter, as you showed the character doing a, reverse jump? I mean, that's just a fast fall like in Smash, or a stomp from Sonic. I think you should just call it one of those. Besides that, I really only have an issue with the audio from the voices. While the main character sounds completely fine, the antagonist you have to go up against in the game, it doesn't really sound that good.
And so another bounty hunter comes crawling in. Do you really think a hairball such as yourself can take on this whole station?
You know, I prefer my bounties to have names. It makes paperwork that much easier.
Oh no, not so fast. You only get my name once you prove you're actually worth my time.
Rather than sounding like his voice is coming through a speaker, it just sounds like he has a lower end mic. And, you know, if he does and that's all you can use, then, you know, that's actually kind of fine. You can actually fix that using the effects to make it sound like his voice is coming from a speaker. That said, you should probably make his voice sound closer to this. That said, I know it's an early demo, and you have a lot of things you want to figure out and stuff, so I don't really want to be too harsh on it. I'll keep an eye out for this game, Outclass Hunter, which is basically Doom. Outclass Hunter will come out at some point or another, but if you are interested in the game, please follow the dev on Twitter. Nine Souls was the first Metroidvania on this list, being created by Red Candle Games. Nine Souls' hand-drawn characters and backgrounds look amazing, but the gameplay really hit different. The controls are snappy and responsive, and I feel like I'm in control of the character at all times. I want this game, and I wish I helped kickstart it, but I just couldn't understand how to kickstart it on their website. Oh well, I'll just support the game when it releases. The only issue I had with the game is the little dash you are given. While the dash is given iframes, it is extremely short. Personally, I like to see the distance increased a little, but that's all. Oh, and I hope you include a boss rush for this, with a custom boss at the end. That'd be really cool. While he's charging, I'm the one getting stronger. Nine Souls is set to come out sometime in the second quarter of 2023. If you are interested in the game, please follow the devs on Twitter. Last Vanguard was the second Metroidvania on the list, and it's being created by Cultic Studios. Last Vanguard is a game I've been following on Twitter for some time, so I knew what the game looked like coming into it. I wasn't a fan of the character designs initially, but it grew on me as time passed, and maybe it'll stay like that when the game comes out. Luckily, the backgrounds of the levels always seemed fine to me, at least from what I've seen so far. The gameplay itself is serviceable, but coming from 9 Souls to this was very noticeable. I felt like I couldn't act instantly out of any action I have done prior. It seemed like there was lag. But the main issue I have with the game so far is that the dash doesn't have iframes at all. I feel like the game should have it. But maybe it'll actually be a power-up in the game or an upgrade. I'm not sure. I just think it should be a part of the dash when you first get it. Last Vanguard does not have a release date at all. So if you want any more information, you know what to do. Follow him on Twitter. The Tarnishing of Juxtia was the third Metroidvania I played on this list, and it's being created by actual nerds. I wasn't expecting to like the game as much as I did, mostly because of the way the character moves. Honestly, that's just me treating a book by its cover, and I'm sorry. But hey, at least I liked it at the end. Anyway, after the tutorial and getting to the first enemy, the gameplay just clicked with me, both the melee combat and magic. For me, magic has always felt off for me to use, but that might just be because I like going up to somebody and stabbing them. Feel me? While the pace of the game wasn't as quick, the issues I had from this demo come from the second boss, and by and large, if there's any other boss in the game that's like this, because I felt like there wasn't better ways to hit the boss without hitting him in the face, but at the same time, I tend to fly off the stage and lose health. The weapon I used for this guy was the dagger, and that's simply because I like the moveset. However, due to its length, I had trouble getting damage on him. Long weapons in general feel too slow for me, and weapons like the hammer and greatsword are just way too slow. I felt like I had to use the one hand in order for me to actually beat this boss, which I did. The long appendages would be a fix for this specific boss. All you would have to do is let them hang around for a little bit longer than they do, because they just kind of come up and disappear way too fast. Honestly, I'm not sure how else I would fix that problem besides doing what I just said, but I feel like something must be done. Also, I think all the weapons should have a ground slam move. It's weird that they don't, to me, and that's really it for all the things I have to say about the game. The Tarnishing of the Juxtia will come out sometime in the summer, which would be pretty soon at this specific point. If you are interested in the game, please follow these nerds on Twitter. And last on this list is KANDRIA, although at the same time this was also the first and the reason why I did the Steam Next Fest in the first place. I saw potential in this game, and I wanted to show it off to people. The game is being created by Shinmera. KANDRIA's art direction is really something I get behind. I'm not sure why, I think it just resonates with me. And as far as the gameplay goes, the exploration part feels amazing. It always feels satisfying when you find a new area. Exploring the world is fantastic, even if it was just a small demo. My issue with the game comes from its combat, being sluggish and strange. The combat feels strange when I do light attacks, because I glide on the floor, Not like a lunging forward, I just kinda slide on the floor like it's ice. And it feels sluggish when I use heavy attacks or charge attacks. I know you're supposed to commit to the action, but it just feels off, man. I wish I knew how else to explain it, but that's really it. It's just that I feel the combat needs help. But everything else seems to be on track. And that's pretty much all I have to say about this game. KANDRIA will come out sometime in November of 2022. If you are interested, you can follow the dev on Twitter. And that's finally it. I'm done. There were just way too many games for me to pass up, and I just feel like I need to talk about as many as I possibly could. If any one of these games captured your interest, then please wishlist them. Maybe encourage them on Twitter saying, you did a great job. Any one of these games can show up in my So You Wanna Play series. Or I could just play for fun, who knows. But anyway, that is it from me. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching this video. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to this channel. It would mean a lot if you did. And if you want updates on what I'm going to do next, please follow me on Twitter.